Ever feel like every new woman you date makes you pay for what her ex did? You show up with good intentions, and somehow you're the one cleaning up a mess you didn't make. You're fixing problems that existed long before you arrived. You're not her man. You're her emotional repairman. That's what modern dating has become, a debt collection agency for broken relationships. And social media made it worse. It gave women a megaphone to broadcast every wound, every bad decision, every ounce of resentment, and then call it empowerment. Every tweet, every reel, every healed girl quote is another mask slipping off. What's underneath isn't confidence. It's exhaustion, anger, and years of emotional debt they expect you to pay. This isn't about hating women. It's about recognizing the pattern nobody wants to admit. Because until men understand what emotional debt really looks like, they'll keep paying the price for pain they didn't cause. Social media changed everything. It used to be a place to share memories, travel, food, and fun. Now it's a confession booth, a stage where people reveal who they truly are when they think no one's judging. And women, especially, are telling on themselves without even realizing it. Every TikTok, every story, every just being honest post is another glimpse behind the mask. The act isn't slipping anymore. It's gone. What we're seeing underneath isn't empowerment. It's exhaustion, entitlement, and unresolved pain wrapped in cute captions. They call it healing. They call it growth. But scroll long enough, and you'll see what's really happening. Emotional chaos, disguised as confidence. Modern women are drowning in emotional debt, and the worst part is, they expect you to pay it off. Think about it. Every bad relationship, every toxic ex, every situationship that crashed and burned, none of that disappears. It piles up like interest on a maxed out credit card. And when they finally meet a good man, they don't start fresh. They hand him the bill. Suddenly, it's his job to fix what someone else broke. His responsibility to prove he's different, to heal wounds he didn't cause. I've seen it over and over. A client of mine, successful guy, grounded, patient, meets a woman who seems perfect. 3 months in, she starts unloading. Her ex was controlling. The one before that cheated. The one before that just disappeared. Now she's constantly testing him, waiting for the same pain to repeat. Every conversation becomes a trial. Every silence feels like betrayal. He's not dating her. He's dating her past. That's what emotional debt looks like. It's invisible at first. She's charming, open, maybe even vulnerable. But give it time, and the ghosts start showing up. The trauma, the trust issues, the constant need for reassurance. It's like moving into a house with beautiful furniture and realizing the foundation is cracked. You can patch the walls all you want, but eventually it collapses. The crazy part? Many of these women know they're damaged. They talk about it openly. They call it their story. They wear it like a badge of honor. If you can't handle me at my worst, you don't deserve me at my best. You've heard it 1,000 times. What used to be a red flag is now content. What used to be shame is now branding. Social media turned dysfunction into a lifestyle, and accountability disappeared somewhere in the hashtags. There's an entire language built to avoid responsibility. I'm not broken, I'm just healing. It's not baggage, it's experience. I don't have trust issues, I have boundaries. Sounds empowering, right? But look deeper. It's just emotional debt being rebranded. Every time they say growth, what they really mean is, I'm still hurting, and someone else will have to pay for it. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Emotional debt works exactly like financial debt. You can ignore it, justify it, even pretend it's not there. But eventually, the interest comes due. Every hookup, every toxic fling, every "it's just for fun" moment, it all leaves a mark. After a decade of chasing validation and calling it freedom, there's not much left to give. The body's been shared, the emotions drained, the soul tired. And when the bill finally hits, they look for a man to bail them out. That's how good men end up in emotional bankruptcy. They meet a woman who seems genuine, who promises she's done with the games, and 3 months later, they're walking on eggshells trying to prove they're not like her ex. Every word gets compared to something another man once said. Every boundary becomes a trigger. He's paying for pain he never caused. Meanwhile, social media keeps the illusion alive. The same women who can't trust their boyfriend are online posting self-love quotes and thirst traps for validation. They say they want peace, but can't stop chasing attention. They want stability, but keep feeding the same habits that destroyed their trust in the first place. It's emotional debt with Wi-Fi, and it's broadcasted for likes. The tragedy isn't that they're broken. Everyone's been hurt before. The tragedy is that accountability has become the enemy. Healing isn't about reflection anymore. It's about presentation. As long as the caption sounds wise, the pain looks poetic. But under the filters, it's the same wound. Untouched, unhealed, waiting for the next man to pay the balance. And that's where modern dating stands. A world full of people pretending to be self-aware while refusing to face themselves. A generation that confuses validation for healing and sympathy for love. Men keep stepping in, thinking they're saving someone, when in reality, they're just signing up for emotional debt they'll never escape. Because until women start paying their own emotional bills, someone else always will. And guess who that someone is? You. If this hits something real inside you, if you're tired of paying for pain you didn't cause, don't just scroll. Subscribe, stay sharp, and keep your peace. Because the next chapter isn't about them. It's about you learning how to stop the cycle for good. Here's where things get darker. Emotional debt doesn't just sit quietly in the background. It starts to move. It leaks into conversations, into intimacy, into every small disagreement. And if you've ever been with a woman like this, you know exactly what I mean. One day, everything feels amazing. The next, you're walking through a minefield of triggers you didn't even set off. These women test you early. Not because they're curious, because they're scared. They'll overshare their trauma on the first few dates to see if you'll play therapist. They'll create small problems just to see if you'll solve them. They'll push boundaries to check if you'll fold. It's not about love. It's about control. They're looking for proof that you'll clean up their chaos. And when you don't, you become emotionally unavailable. That's how the manipulation starts. Slow, disguised as vulnerability. You think you're being supportive. You think you're helping her heal. But what you're really doing is signing up for a lifetime subscription to her past. You're not dating one woman. You're dating every man who ever hurt her, every betrayal she never processed, every memory she refuses to let go of. She says she wants a strong man, but the moment you show strength, she calls it toxicity. She says she wants honesty, but the truth makes her defensive. She says she wants love, but love requires accountability, and that's the one thing she can't face. You're trapped in an emotional tax system where you pay and she collects. Ask her about her past and watch the script flip. Bring up her body count. You're insecure. Question why every ex was a narcissist. You're judgmental. Notice a pattern. You're toxic. It's emotional taxation without representation. You fund her healing, but you're not allowed to have an opinion about how she got hurt. Then comes the validation addiction, the silent engine driving this whole system. These women have spent years getting dopamine hits from likes, comments, attention, and lust. That constant stream of approval rewired their brains. They don't just crave attention, they need it to function. A single man's affection can't compete with the digital applause of 100 strangers. So even when they're in a relationship, they can't turn it off. They're still posting thirst traps, still just engaging with male followers, still keeping backup options in their DMs. It's not confidence, it's withdrawal. Validation is the new drug, and they expect you to be their dealer. And if you dare to ask why she still needs attention from other men, you're accused of being insecure. That's the trap. You're always wrong, and she's always healing. Every argument becomes a therapy session. Every boundary becomes a trigger. Every reasonable question becomes emotional abuse. You're not allowed to have standards, only sympathy. This is how good men burn out. They think patience will fix it. They think love will calm it down. But love doesn't cure addiction. It just becomes another high that eventually fades. And when it does, she'll chase the next thrill, the next man, the next validation hit, the next emotional rescue mission. Modern dating apps turned this cycle into a factory. Swipe culture created unlimited opportunities to build more emotional debt. 50 first dates in a year, hundreds of matches, endless micro-attachments that never go anywhere. Each one adds another layer of distrust, another wall, another scar. By the time she's ready to get serious, she's emotionally bankrupt, but still expecting a premium relationship. That's the paradox of modern femininity. They spent their best years giving away intimacy to men who never earned it. And now, they demand commitment from men they barely respect. They see relationships not as partnerships, but as transactions. What can you do for me? How can you fix me? How can you make me feel safe? It's never, what can I offer? It's always, what can I extract? And when you don't play along, the labels start flying. You're cold. You're emotionally distant. You're afraid of love. No, you're just refusing to become a cleanup crew for someone else's chaos. Here's the reality most men don't want to admit. The moment you start fixing her, she stops respecting you. Because deep down, she doesn't want a savior. She wants someone to absorb her pain. The more you try to prove your loyalty, the more she tests it. The more you give, the less she values it. It's a rigged game. You can't win because you were never meant to. The rules are built on guilt, emotion, and denial, all designed to keep you paying interest on pain that isn't yours. And if you stay long enough, you'll end up like so many men before you, drained, resentful, and wondering when love started to feel like labor. But here's the truth. It's not love when it costs your peace. It's not healing when it drains your soul. And it's not your job to pay for the wreckage left by someone else's storm. You've probably seen it. The new trend called healing. Women everywhere talking about their growth, their self-love era, their either soft girl journey. Sounds beautiful, right? But scratch the surface, and it's not healing. It's performance. It's a marketing campaign built around pain they never actually processed. They post therapy quotes, journal aesthetics, and teary confessions on camera. But when the phone's off, nothing changes. The same bitterness, the same anger, the same entitlement. Healing has become a brand, not a transformation. It's emotional debt in designer packaging. They're not fixing anything. They're just getting better at explaining why they're still broken. They confuse self-awareness with accountability, and that's why the cycle never ends. It's not growth. It's repackaged dysfunction with hashtags and filters. Meanwhile, men are waking up. Slowly at first, then all at once. They're realizing what's actually happening in the dating market. The red pill may have flaws, but it did one thing right. It pulled the curtain back. It showed men that modern dating isn't about love anymore. It's about power, attention, and leverage. Every man who understands emotional debt stops being a target for it. He starts recognizing the signs, the oversharing, the victim narratives, the endless "my ex was a narcissist" stories. He sees the patterns, not the performance. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Women call men emotionally unavailable. But let's be honest, most of these women aren't emotionally stable enough to connect in the first place. They've spent years feeding off validation, not connection. They've trained themselves to crave attention, not intimacy. When a man refuses to play along, they label him toxic. But what's really happening is projection. They accuse men of being detached while being emotional vampires. They complain about commitment issues while being unable to commit to anything beyond their own comfort. They say men are damaged, but they're the ones still living in the wreckage of relationships they never took responsibility for. Social media made it impossible to hide. Every tweet, every video, every "I'm done with boys" post, it's all evidence. The mask is off. We can finally see the emotional reality behind the filters. No more mystique. No more pretending that chaos is confidence. The double standards are almost comical. When a man has baggage, he's told to deal with it alone. When a woman has baggage, she expects emotional labor from whoever dates her next. When a man's past is messy, he's judged. When a woman's past is messy, it's part of her journey. They want traditional benefits with modern freedom, and they're shocked when men start opting out. Now the market is correcting itself. Men are realizing they have choices. They don't have to sign up for emotional debt disguised as love. They can choose peace over chaos, solitude over emotional bankruptcy. For the first time in decades, men are starting to hold the line. The smart women, the rare ones, are paying attention. They see the wall coming. They feel the shift. They understand that actions have consequences, that accountability is value. They're doing the real work, but they're the minority. The rest are doubling down, raising their standards while lowering their effort. They think the problem is men. It's not. The problem is math. You can't spend your best years chasing validation and expect high-value men to line up later. You can't build self-worth through likes and think it translates into loyalty. The world doesn't work that way. And time doesn't care about your healing journey. The bitterness that follows is toxic. These women are angry at the men who used them, angry at the men who ignore them, and angry at themselves for letting it happen. But instead of changing, they project that anger onto whoever tries to love them next. Every good man becomes a punching bag for someone else's mistakes. They'll say they're just guarded. They'll say they have trust issues. But really, they're addicted to the chaos they claim to hate. They want a stable man with a bad boy's edge, a savior who doesn't exist. And when reality doesn't match fantasy, they blame men for not living up to a script that was never real. That's why so many relationships collapse, because they're not built on love or accountability. They're built on exhaustion, projection, and emotional debt, disguised as depth. But here's the good news, the white pill, if you will. You don't have to play the game. You don't have to fix, rescue, or finance someone else's healing. You can walk away. You can raise your standards. You can choose peace. Men are finally learning that saying no is power, that silence is strength, that not reacting doesn't make you cold, it makes you free. For decades, men were taught to prove themselves worthy of love. Now, they're learning to protect their energy instead. And the more men wake up, the faster the game changes. The dating market is shifting toward accountability. The cleanup crew era is over. The age of male standards is here. Because the truth is simple. If her healing requires your suffering, it's not love. It's manipulation. Here's what nobody wants to admit. The crisis isn't just about dating. It's cultural. We built a generation that confuses attention with affection and trauma with personality. We raised people to think self-expression is healing and validation is progress. But what happens when that validation fades? When the likes slow down? When the filters stop working? That's when the mask cracks. That's when the truth shows. Years of unhealed pain, disguised as empowerment, begin to surface. And suddenly, the people who spent a decade preaching self-love are the loneliest ones in the room. Because love without accountability isn't love. It's delusion. You see it everywhere now. Women aging out of the validation economy, realizing that their freedom came with a bill they can't afford. The currency of attention has devalued. The leverage they once had is gone. The same men they overlooked in their 20s are the ones building empires in their 30s. And those men aren't interested in refinancing someone else's emotional debt. The double standard has finally caught up. Men were told to fix themselves, work harder, build value. Women were told they're perfect as they are. Now, men are thriving while women are asking where all the good men went. The answer is simple. They stopped volunteering to be emotional repairmen. They chose peace over performance. Every man who understands this gains power. Because once you stop believing it's your job to heal someone else, you start healing yourself. You stop chasing validation through saving broken people. You stop trying to prove your worth through someone else's chaos. You realize your energy is currency, and you don't spend it on emotional debt. The tragedy is that this cycle doesn't just affect relationships, it affects generations. These emotionally unstable women become mothers. They teach their daughters that accountability is optional, and their sons that male responsibility is mandatory. They raise boys to tolerate dysfunction and call it love. They raise girls to mistake attention for value. And so the dysfunction repeats, louder, faster, and more public than ever. But here's the shift that's already happening. Men are done. They're walking away from the manipulation, the guilt, and the emotional taxation. They're realizing that solitude is better than a relationship built on trauma. That peace is better than passion that burns everything down. That love isn't supposed to feel like labor. Modern men are rewriting the rules. They're setting standards instead of meeting demands. They're disqualifying red flags before they become regrets. High body count? Disqualified. Still obsessed with validation online? Disqualified. Can't take accountability? Disqualified. These aren't judgments, they're boundaries. And for the first time, men are enforcing them. It's not cruelty, it's self-respect. For years, women have had the freedom to choose. Now, men do too. And when men start choosing peace, the game changes. The cleanup crew is closed. The rehabilitation center is shut down. Emotional debt is no longer accepted here. To every man listening, you deserve better. You deserve a woman who's healed, not one who's hiding behind self-love slogans. You deserve a partner not a project. You deserve loyalty, not therapy sessions disguised as love. Don't settle for chaos because you're afraid of being alone. Solitude isn't punishment, it's clarity. And to the women who feel attacked, understand this isn't hate. It's a mirror. If this message stings, it's because part of you recognizes the truth in it. The world isn't judging your pain, it's judging your refusal to own it. Healing isn't about blaming men, it's about facing yourself. The wall doesn't care about your story. Time doesn't care about your hashtags. Biology doesn't care about your boundaries. The bill always comes due, and the ones who take responsibility are the only ones who'll make it through. We're in a new era now. The masks are off. The truth is out. Social media didn't ruin dating. It revealed it. It showed us what people look like when validation becomes oxygen. It showed us what happens when accountability dies. And it showed men exactly what to avoid. So here's your choice. Keep paying for someone else's emotional credit card, or close the account. Keep fixing people who refuse to fix themselves, or invest that energy in building peace. Because love isn't found through chaos, it's protected through standards. Men are finally waking up. And once you see the game for what it really is, you can't unsee it. You just walk away from the noise, calm, centered, untouchable. The future doesn't belong to the loudest. It belongs to the disciplined, to the grounded, to the ones who refuse to pay for damage they didn't cause. And maybe that's the real revolution. Not anger, not revenge, but peace. If this message spoke to you, if you've ever felt drained, overlooked, or tired of paying for pain you didn't cause, you're not alone. This space is for men who are done with lies and ready to rise. Drop your story in the comments, share this with a brother who needs to hear it, and hit subscribe so you don't forget what peace feels like. Every week, we talk truth, not comfort. Growth, not games. Because the world doesn't need more noise. It needs men who finally understand their worth. Stay sharp, stay grounded, and I'll see you in the next one.